Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Well, today we're going to talk about some frugal tips on saving money. Now, I've never done one of these types of shows before. I've thought about it. I've wanted to, but I've never done it, and I didn't do it for a reason. I didn't want to regurgitate what other people have done. I wanted to go on a financial journey of my own and figure it out myself. And so what I have done is I went through and I made notes of all the things that I've done to try to save money to help get to where we're going. And as I was making them, I realized that I concentrated basically in two areas. So I'm going to divide these into two areas. Frugal tips on just living your home. And the other one is financial frugal tips. So let's talk about the different types of things that you could do around your home to save money. Now, the first one that we did was something called phantom electricity. When you've got everything off in your house, your electric meter still runs because the electricity, as long as it's plugged in, the current that's going through your outlet, it completes the circuit. So even if you're not using it, by completing the circuit, it's still creating electricity and charging you for it. So go through your house and unplug every plug that you don't need or use right now. As an example, the toaster. Why do you keep a toaster plugged in 24/7 when you use it? Even if you use it every day, you use it for a minute or a minute and a half every day. But you're paying electricity on it 24/7. Unplug that bad boy. Your fuse box. This is another one. The two big ones for us anyway is our water heater and our stove. Both of those are 220s, and I shut those off at the fuse box. They're off all the time unless I need it. I turn it on about the hot water heater. I turn it on about a half hour before I take a shower or need water. And the stove I turn on 10 seconds before I need it, and I turn it off at the fuse box 10 seconds when I'm done. Again, even if you're baking in the oven, you use it an hour or two a day, and yet you're paying electricity for a 220 appliance 24/7. Doesn't make sense. Now this is one a lot of people don't agree with me on, and I say it's paper plates. I do spend money on paper plates, and I think they're worth it because otherwise, if you use glass plates, you have to run your dishwasher or wash them by hand. Now, I hate washing dishes by hand, and the dishwasher uses a lot of electricity, plus soap, plus water. Now, when you use paper plates, especially if you use the cheap ones like I do, when you pull one out, you've got 3 or 4 stuck together. I go ahead and just use them like that, and then when I'm done eating whatever it is I'm eating, I take the very top one, I peel it off, throw it in the garbage, and put the other 3 up. And if I eat toast or a sandwich and there's nothing on it except crumbs, I put the whole thing back and reuse it later. And we just talked about this one, the dishwasher versus hand washing. I mean, if you have a family, you obviously are going to have to use a dishwasher. So anything that you can do to run that thing less, even if you just run it half as much as you run it now, you're saving half the money. If you're single, hand wash, and I hate hand washing, but wash your dishes by hand. It saves a lot of energy. Another frugal tip that I've learned is once a week, make large meals and then divide them down, freeze them, and use them during the week for lunches or dinners. And there are a lot of different dishes you can do this with. Ham and beans, chicken noodles, spaghetti, any pasta dish. Vegetable soup. Anything that you can make in a crock pot, you can freeze and then reheat and eat. And it's a lot cheaper to cook it in bulk like that, even if you're single. I'm single and I do that. Laundry. I think people waste a lot of time and energy on laundry. First off, if they put one thing on their body, it's dirty and it goes into the dirty clothes. Well, why? The more you wash it, the more it wears out, and the quicker it wears out, and the sooner you have to replace it. Especially if you wear the same work clothes, you know. I wear jeans, t-shirt, and shoes to work every day. Why would I wear 5 shirts, 5 jeans, and 5 pairs of socks? Wear them a couple of days. Another one that you can do around the house is to eliminate using the TV. In this day of computers, I can't believe TV is even still a thing. Anything you can watch on TV, you can watch on your computer. And if you eliminate your TV, you will eliminate some of your subscription charges, like Hulu or Netflix. But you can put them onto your computer if you absolutely need them. But I would eliminate watching the TV and start using your computer for entertainment purposes. And the last one that I want to talk about is a house hack. And that's renting out, and I do not recommend this if you are a single female. Absolutely under no circumstances. But, you know, renting out a room or fixing up your garage and renting that out, or if you have a duplex, renting out half of the duplex. But find a way to lower your expense on your housing by renting out a portion of it. As an example, some houses have 3-car garages. If you only have 1 car, you have 2 car slots that are open. My son had a boat, and he struggled every year to find a place to store that boat. What if you rented out your garage, one of those slots, to somebody with the boat, and the other one to somebody who had a nice motorcycle that was looking for a place to store it? House hack. Now let's talk about some of the money frugal tips that I've done along the way to try to save money. One of the first ones I did was I have done and am still trying to automate every penny of my savings. I was doing it manually. I would cash my check, get it in cash, put it in envelopes, and then periodically go to the bank savings account. Very efficient. It teaches you a lot about making every penny work. However, after a certain period of time and a certain number of sinking funds, it gets to be hard. I bank at a little savings and loan, and the guy that runs it was very eager to help me save money. And every Friday, he takes X amount of dollars and puts it into my savings account, into our ministry account, and into the sinking funds that I have set up. Once you make it automatic, it took a lot of pressure off of me, and the savings just continues to happen with a lot less work for me. Another one was cashback credit cards. This is the first way I learned to make money, just by living. You know, you get a cashback credit card, you get a sign-up bonus for that, and then every dime you spend, you're making something. If you're not making something when you're using your credit card, you're doing it wrong. The key to that one is to pay it off at the end of every month. Otherwise, it makes no sense. They'll give you 2%, but they'll charge you 25%. That ain't how to make money. Another one is to get an overdraft account for your checking account. Well, how is that frugal? Well, if you overdraft your account just one time a year, that's $25. But through my savings and loan, I've got an overdraft, and I do this periodically, especially when with my business, because I'm writing a lot of checks, and sometimes some catch up and some don't. And I've probably used that thing a half a dozen times since I've got it last year. And for the whole year, for all those checks, I've paid $8 in interest. That's saving a lot. If you figure, I don't know, half a dozen checks times $25, that's $150. Okay? So $150 versus $8. Well worth it. Saved me a lot of money. Another one is when you're investing in mutual funds or IRAs or even individual stocks, look for no fees. They're there. And by big companies. You can find a no-fee mutual fund, a no-fee Roth IRA. Or if you want to do individual stocks, go to Robinhood or Webull or any of those. There's a lot of them out there, but don't pay fees. Another way to be frugal with your finances is to have a good credit score. Follow me on that. If you go to get car insurance, did you know that the better your credit rating, the lower your car insurance? Did you know that? That's a fact. Or if you go to rent an apartment. I work in an apartment complex, so I know this to be a fact. The better your credit score, the lower your security deposit, all the way up to 0. That's a fact. So have good credit, because it will help you. It will save you money. Another frugal tip is to shop around for your everyday services, like your cell phone. I'm getting ready to change my cell phone. I currently use AT&T. They are raping me unbelievably, and I'm going to get rid of AT&T. So I'm going to shop around, and I'm going to get the best service I can, and I'm going to save some money. Another one again is car insurance. It is a known fact in the car insurance industry that your first year or two, they will suck you in and get you comfortable, and then they will slowly raise rates on you until you get ready to move. That's kind of the process, and they all do it. So if you haven't checked in the last year or two, you should call around and check. You'll find it. And if you have to switch every year or two, so what? It's all about saving money, not being having life be convenient. If you're not interested in saving, $10 a month, then stay where you're at. But by shopping around, you can keep your car insurance cost down. But any of your living expenses that you can shop around, definitely shop them. Another, and this one's obvious, but I can't believe how many people do this. Pay off your credit card every month. Don't carry a balance. As I said, they're charging you 25% a year to carry a balance. Why would you waste money? You're giving your money to the... Now, I carried a balance for years because I was broke and I was driving junkers, and the only way that I could keep them on the road was to charge them, charge the repair bill, and pay it off over time. And I did that for years, but I eventually got it paid off, and when I did, I started saving money in a savings account. That way, I'm not paying interest on my credit card. Once you get your credit card down to 0 and paid off, now you should try to go find another credit card with a sign-up bonus, and this one to have a free transfer for 12 or 18 months. That way, if you have to charge on your credit card, you put it on your credit card and then you transfer it to that card, and it'll be interest free for 12 to 18 months. You see how it's not about being convenient, it's about saving money. You'll save 25% of your money if you'll do that one little thing on your credit cards. Another thing that I have done, and I've done this many times and it always pays off, is a 30-day no spend. And I mean nothing. No eating out, no drinks, no movies, no rentals, no nothing. You spend as little money as possible for 30 days. And then when those bills start coming in and they go way down and your income remains the same, now you can make a little bit of headway. But I will tell you this, because of the way my credit card bills were due, it took about 60 days to realize the savings. But a 30-day no spend time, and I do that probably 3 or 4 times a year, and every time I do that, it works out great. And the last one is going to sound kind of funny, but I'm going to tell you a story about it, and that's save all your pocket change. My first wife and I saved our pocket change for about 5 years. When we cashed it in, we had enough to pay for both of us to go on a 2-week vacation to the Bahamas. You say, yeah, well, I use my debit card all the time. I don't have any coin. Well, I work in a store, a retail store, and I've got this one guy that comes in every night, and he buys 2 drinks, and it comes to $3 and some change, and every night he gives me a $5 bill. And he wants it all back in quarters. And I asked him why. And he says, because when I get home, I'm going to put my quarters in my jar. Well, think about that. $1.50 a day. Let's say this 300 days a year. That's $450 a year. Just a couple of quarters a day. Well, there's many other ones that I could have done, but I've run long on this. So we'll probably do another one at some point about frugal living tips. And if you've got any more, list them down below. But I can tell you, I can personally vouch for every one of the ones that I've talked about. I've done them. I did not regurgitate from any other channel or any other content producer. These are all ones that I've done and I've done on my own. So you guys have a great week. Happy investing and happy frugal living.